Hi, I'm James, and today on the desk here I have a MacBook Air M1. So this is a late 2020 model, and unfortunately this has experienced a bit of a fall, and we have quite clearly a broken screen here. So we're going to get this replaced and show you how to do that. So with the machine on the desk, we can see here obviously there's a dent and some markings here in the corners, so this machine has experienced a fall. In terms of what we need to repair it, so we have a mobile phone repair kit here for a screwdriver set with all the relevant screws. We have a plastic pry tool. I keep a magnetic little pad here to keep the screws in their positions so I can easily reassemble. And then obviously we have a full assembly screen here ready to go onto the system. So to get started, we've got the machine flipped over now to the back, and what we need to do is we have a 1.5mm pentalobe screwdriver bit here. The link to the screwdriver set and also other parts used will all be in the description. And what I'm going to do is, as I remove these screws, because we have different lengths depending on where they are removed from, so you can see there's different threads and different lengths to these screws, we're going to remove them and place them in the same order on this mat over here. And basically I go down it in stages to try and make sure the same screws go back into the same place. So this will just take a minute to get these out. The screen for this system cost about £172 at the time of recording. So this makes it, obviously, because you're buying full assembly and the Mac screens are quite nice panels, it's not a cheap screen, but it is certainly nowhere near the most expensive in the Apple range. Also, unlike later Mac and Mac Pro models, there is no sort of devices here that should be paired to the machine. So getting a replacement panel shouldn't involve much more than the actual physical installation of it. So with screws removed now, what we're going to do is we're going to just take our pry tool and get in towards the back here, and then get our fingers in and pop off the back panel, and that comes off quite simply like so. So before we go any further, our first job now is to disconnect the battery. So what we want to do, and sorry if fingers get in the way a little bit here, but we need to get a nail either side. There is a little metal latch that goes around this connector. So getting a finger either side, we can see we release that latch, and then we have disconnected the battery. This is great. It means we're not going to accidentally power on the machine or cause any damage due to it being electrically live while we're working on it. Our next job, just above the battery connector here, is the aerial connectors for the wireless. So we have switched to a Torx T3 bit, and we're going to press that carefully into the screw and remove that from the antenna cover. And then we can carefully lift out the cover there, placing it on our mat with the screw. And then with our pry tool, we can come in just gently underneath the aerial connectors here, gently lift those off and just clear of the connectors there. Next, we turn our attention to here where we have the cover for the display connector. Again, we have a Torx T3 bit, and we need to remove these two diagonal screws from that. With those removed, we can then remove the little cover and again place it on the mat with the screws. We then take the tip of our pry tool and, placing it just behind the metal piece here, want to gently release the display connector. After this is done, we have to remove the antenna bar. So we have two black screws and then two silver screws on each side for this. This is using a Torx T5 bit. So if we start with the outer ones, the inner black ones I should say. And then move to the outer silver ones. So with our pry tool, we then want to use the pointy end, and just above this screw in the hinge here, we should be able to push in, and hopefully here's this one has a little bit of adhesive under it as well. Out the way, and we want to just work out the antenna bar from the chassis. Again, there seems to be a bit of adhesive under this, but we should be able to get it free. There we go. And with the last of that out, bit of a struggle on this one, I have to admit. I have not found it that tricky on other ones I've worked on. But with that done, we then can feed out the display cable, or the display connector there, and put our antenna bar to one side. Having done this, we then want to remove the hinge screws. So this is a Torx T8-bit. So we're going to start on the right hand side first. All screws should be the same here, but we're just going to keep them in position anyway. We then move on to the left side, and it's the same, so 3 identical screws. So now we need to carefully open the chassis to open up the hinges. And the way I like to do this is then to place the machine on the edge of the desk with the screen overlapping. So with the machine then positioned over the edge of the desk, I can then open the screen to get the right angle to then be able to open up the hinge and lift clear. And with that we have removed the old broken panel. So now, taking our new panel, I have fully opened the hinges here. I've left the protective coating on just so I don't mark it up while I'm working on it. And what we want to do is then, so making sure our display board here is pulled clear, we want to slot in one side of the hinge, and then we should be able to also then slot in the other as well. So just carefully angle it, and then we're going to keep the system on the edge here and just put in one screw on each side. Just to give us a basic attachment of the screen and then allow us to close it and continue working. Obviously be careful not to let the machine fall off when it's in this position. Because the screen's fully open, it's going to be it's important to keep a hand just on here to stop it falling backwards off the desk. So with one in on each side, I can now close over the lid and put the system back on the desk to continue working on it. So next we are going to return our screws into the lid. So into the hinges, I should say. Fitting them in on both sides. In place, we're then ready for our antenna bar. So what we want to do is take this display cable and position it through, and making sure that the display connector to the main board there is in the right place as well, so not caught on the other side of it. And we want to push this into place. We're then returning to our Torx T5 bit, and we're going to start from the outside. So we can screw that antenna bar down into position. Making sure all our cables are clear. And then with the two black screws, we can position the display connector into place. And get that screwed down as well. So just getting the cables and connectors back into place. So we want to take our display cable and we want to bend that back into place, or display connector I should say, and this is a bit tricky, but you want to get it lined up and press it down. So once it's in the right place, it should click firmly into position. We can then take our cover for the cable connector, put that into place, and we are back with our Torx T3 bit, and refit the two screws. Making sure that when we tighten it we don't twist it so that we can't get the other screw in. Then have our two antenna leads. So we want to take these, and using the end of the pry tool, I like to just make sure that they line up. These are probably one of the trickiest bits. So you want to line them up with the connectors, making sure they are absolutely central on there, and then just gently click them into place. You should hear a little click as they go on. And with the second, again, just trying to get it aligned. And there again, as it goes into place, it clicks down nicely. We then take our antenna cover, making sure this little flap here is positioned towards the top. And again, a Torx T3 bit to refit the original screw. All that's left to do now is to reconnect our battery, so press that down until it clips into place, and then take the little latch and clip it down so that is firmly held there. Now what I'm going to do is flip things over, double check the new screen is working, and then all that's left to do is clip back on the back and screw it back on. Screen all tested and working, and all that's left to do is to take our back plate. We want to line this up, press it down so that it clicks back into place, and then returning to our 1.2mm pentalobe screwdriver, we just have to replace the screws into the back cover, and our repair is complete. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, then do leave a comment and a like on the video. I hope it's helped you repair your machine, and this is not too hard a job. Just requires a little bit of patience and some steady fingers, and the right tools really. Unfortunately the displays can't be replaced without doing the full assembly, or not in a practical sense. I'm sure it is possible to fit a new panel into them, but because of the glass design, really doing it as a complete screen replacement or complete assembly is a lot easier, and certainly makes it viable for a home repair. If you have enjoyed this though, as I say, leave a like and let me know that you managed to replace your screen, and all the links for the different parts are in the description below. Thanks for watching.